Welcome to our countdown of the top 12 most popular voting elections in 4 AED or 2028. Now you might be thinking, A.E.D, popular elections? Isn't that a bit like saying delicious broccoli? They're both necessary, sure, but enjoyable, not so much. And to that I say, fair point. Elections can be messy, confusing, and let's be honest, more than a little soul-crushing at times, but they're also vitally important. They are, when you get right down to it, the bedrock of any functioning democracy. So, whether you're a political junkie who can quote voting regulations like they're Shakespeare, or you're just here for the ride because, let's face it, your algorithm knows you better than you know yourself these days, buckle up. We're about to embark on a whirlwind tour across the globe to unpack the 12 elections that, for better or worse, captivated the world this past year. We're talking nail-biting finishes, surprise upsets, and maybe, just maybe, a glimmer of hope for the future of democracy. Or, at the very least, some truly baffling campaign slogans. So grab your I voted stickers, settle in, and let's dive right in. Now, you might be thinking, A.E.D, why are we starting with a history lesson? Shouldn't we be talking about, actual elections that happened in 4 AED? And to that I say patience, my friend, because to understand the significance of the elections that unfolded this year, we need to first understand the foundation upon which they were built. August 15th, 1947, a date etched in the annals of history. The day India gained its independence from British rule. But more than that, it was the day the largest democracy in the world was born. Think about that for a second. Hundreds of millions of people suddenly given the right to choose their own destiny. It was a monumental moment, not just for India, but for the very idea of democracy itself. Let's be honest, Guinea-Bissau doesn't always get the attention it deserves on the global stage, but this small West African nation has been quietly building its democracy, brick by brick, election after election. In 4 AED, Guinea-Bissau held its presidential elections, and let me tell you, it was a nail-biter. We're talking razor-thin margins, recounts that would make a Florida election official sweat, and a level of civic engagement that would put many so-called developed democracies to shame. The people of Guinea-Bissau showed the world what it means to fight for your right to vote and to make your voice heard. Egypt, land of the pharaohs, the pyramids, and a political landscape that's about as predictable as the Nile flooding schedule. In 4 AED, all eyes were on Egypt as they held their parliamentary elections. Now, Egypt's relationship with democracy has been, shall we say, complicated. But despite the challenges, the Egyptian people showed up, determined to exercise their right to vote and shape the future of their country. These elections were a powerful reminder that democracy is not a spectator sport. It requires active participation even, and perhaps especially, when it's difficult. Chapter 4. Sudan. Navigating the crossroads. Sudan, a nation grappling with its past and striving towards a more democratic future. The ghosts of conflict still loomed large as Sudan held its first democratic elections in decades in 4 AED. This wasn't just about choosing a new leader, it was about healing old wounds, bridging deep divisions, and proving that democracy could take root even in the most challenging of environments. The road ahead for Sudan is long and uncertain, but the commitment of the Sudanese people to the democratic process gives us all a glimmer of hope. Chapter 5, Afghanistan, Hope Endures. Afghanistan, a country that has known more than its fair share of hardship and conflict. In 4 AED, they held parliamentary elections, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring hope for a better future. These weren't easy elections. Security concerns, logistical nightmares, and the ever-present threat of violence cast a long shadow. But through it all, the Afghan people persevered, demonstrating their unwavering belief in the power of democracy. Chapter 6, Kenya, the safari of democracy. Hold on to your hats, folks, because Kenyan elections are not for the faint of heart. They're lively, they're passionate, and they often involve a healthy dose of political maneuvering that would make Machiavelli blush. In 4 AED, Kenya held its presidential elections, and let me tell you, it was a wild ride. We're talking alliances forged and broken, accusations flying faster than a cheetah on the savannah, and enough political drama to make a soap opera writer jealous. But through it all, the Kenyan people made their voices heard. Chapter 7. Okay, this one might seem a little out there, even for a list about global elections, but trust me on this. SMG4, Mexico Payan, for those not in the know, is a fictional country in the wacky world of the SMG4 YouTube channel. And yes, you read that right, they held elections. Now, you might be thinking, Alada, this is ridiculous. It's a fictional country populated by video game characters and memes. And to that, I say you're absolutely right. But here's the thing. Even in this absurd, nonsensical world, the act of voting, of making your voice heard, resonated with millions of viewers around the globe. Chapter 8. Syria. A nation ravaged by civil war, its people caught in the crossfire of a brutal conflict. In the midst of this ongoing tragedy, holding elections might seem like an impossible dream, but in 4 A.E.D, against all odds, Syrians went to the polls in a vote for local councils. These elections, while limited in scope, represented a small but significant step towards normalcy, towards a future where the will of the Syrian people could once again be heard. Chapter 9. Iraq, a nation scarred by conflict, has been on a long and arduous journey towards rebuilding its democracy. In 4 A.E.D, they held parliamentary elections, a crucial step in solidifying their hard-won democratic gains. These elections were about more than just choosing a new government. They were about reclaiming their future, about proving that even in the face of violence and instability, the power of the people can prevail. Somalia, a nation often defined by its past struggles, took a significant step towards stability and democracy in 4 A.E.D with its parliamentary elections. These elections, while not without their challenges, represented a beacon of hope for a brighter future. The Somali people, having endured decades of conflict and instability, demonstrated their unwavering commitment to building a more democratic and prosperous Somalia. South Korea, the land of K-pop kimchi and surprisingly tense elections. In 4 A.E.D, South Koreans went to the polls to elect their new National Assembly, and let me tell you, things got heated. We're talking passionate debates, high-stakes political maneuvering, and enough campaign posters to wallpaper the entire DMZ. But beyond the spectacle, these elections were a reminder that even in a country obsessed with the latest trends, the principles of democracy still hold strong. Sun, sand, and surprisingly consequential elections. That's right, folks, we're heading to the Caribbean. In 4 A.E.D, the islands of Bonaire, Aruba, Curaçao, and Sint Maarten, each with their own unique cultures and histories, held their parliamentary elections. These elections were a powerful reminder that democracy thrives in all corners of the globe, even in paradise. So, there you have it. The 12 most popular elections of 4 A.E.D, from the bustling streets of Cairo to the sun-drenched beaches of the Caribbean. We've seen firsthand the power of the people, the resilience of democracy, and the sheer unpredictability of the electoral process. And look, I get it, elections can be messy, frustrating, and downright confusing at times, but they're also a testament to the enduring human spirit, to our unwavering belief in a better future. So the next time you're feeling disillusioned with the state of the world, remember the people of Guinea-Bissau, the voters of Sudan, the citizens of Syria, and countless others who, even in the face of adversity, continue to fight for their right to be heard. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content on global events.